I've got to tell you that I've known Ed for at least 20 years, and during much of that time, we've been at odds with each other at times. Different styles. Yeah. He was a yippie, you know. But at any event, I've always admired his commitment, but we haven't always gotten along. I don't know if I've ever seen a more courageous individual when those charges came down. The man never wavered. He said, "I'm not there. They don't have the balls to send me to jail." And I kept saying, "Ed, Jesus Christ, you're looking at 5 to 40. This is the United States." And I literally talked to him like a day before he went in for sentencing. He called me to read a statement to me to see what I thought. And it was a hostile statement. It was a hostile statement saying, "Judge, you son of a bitch, you know, fucked over the world." And I mean, I was saying, Ed, you realize a couple minutes later, he's going to decide whether you go to jail and for how long. So you may not want to use that right then. Maybe later. Ed said, he doesn't have the balls to send me to jail. Well, wouldn't you know, the next day, he was right, man. That judge departed on a downward departure in a way I've never seen done. I'm hopeful it'll be upheld in the Ninth Circuit. I'm not sure it will. But whatever anyone may think about Ed Rosenthal,
what is the appeal request?
He was an incredible poster boy for the medical marijuana movement. He stood strong. Now, I'm sorry, the postponement on...
No, the appeal, it's going to the Ninth Circuit.
Well, because under our system, if a judge departs from the federal sentencing guidelines, they're almost mandatory, but you can depart, but you have to write why you departed, and the government can appeal that departure. So they can't appeal the verdict,
right? But
they can appeal the part where the judge didn't give him the minimum 5-year sentence.
Quite out of the clear yet.
Oh no, it's a 5 to 40. If they win that one, he serves a minimum of 5 years. It's a Todd McCormick level offense. But
he's
been incredibly great.
Todd?
Yes, I talk to Todd probably at least every 2 weeks.
Todd McCormick, someone who, after Proposition 215, grew the cannabis mansion. He grew 4,000 plants, but
in Bel Air, right outside Hollywood.
Quite sincerely and legitimately under the state's medical marijuana legislation, but has served what, 3 years?
He served 3.5, almost soon to be 4. And
he's got a 5-year sentence.
Yeah, and he's going to serve almost the whole sentence. It's been a tough time.
A lot of it in solitary.
That's right. They moved him around. They call it diesel therapy from prison to prison because he's not quiet. He's not as compliant as they would like. And if you're not compliant in our federal prison system, they just move you around. So he's had some tough time. But to his credit, again, enormous courage, very strong individual. I visited him I think 4 different times in prison, and I speak with him every couple of weeks. And no matter what they come at him with, his bottom line is, they've done it to me before, I've survived, I know it. I keep reminding him, think of it this way, at the end of 5 years, they have to let you out. It doesn't matter what happens between now and then. And so he knows what the worst case scenario is. Very brave guy.
It's mostly, I would think, staying alive until then.
Well, it is staying alive, and it's also not allowing the prison to goad him into doing anything that would get him extra time. You know, sometimes they play with your head and try to get you to get angry or break some rule or do something, and they can add on extra time.
How is, I'd say number 4 on our list of great things, that would be Seattle Hempfest itself.
Well, I would say so too.
Still drawing in what a staggering number, as far as
almost 200,000 people in the 2-day event is what the Post-Intelligencer, I think, estimated.
Now, if only these people could be getting to vote and getting politically active, eh? That's why I tell Loretta and all, geez, if we could just get 1% of these people to run as candidates for U.S. Marijuana Party or to get involved. Although, you know, we're presuming they don't. There are 200,000 people. I imagine a lot of activists were there.
There were a lot of activists. In fact, a lot of activists come in from all over the country and the world because it's become such a great event. It is, of course, without question, the largest pro-pot event in the world. Yeah. I mean, it's a 2-day event now. It draws close to 100,000 people a day.
My only regret is that none of us can visit because David Mama Levine, Dana Larson, myself.
Oh, no, you guys don't want to come.
Everybody here, we don't get even admitted to the United States.
No.
So we can't.
And you don't want to go because they'd fucking take you down for it. But it is a wonderful out front expression of our culture in a way that's not apologetic one iota. I mean, I got to tell you, one of the things that makes you feel so good is there are all hundreds of thousands of people in this big, sophisticated metropolitan area, and when you get to the 3 main stages, there's like 10-foot-high marijuana plants on each side of the stage.
Oh, really?
There's 2 NORML banners. There's on each stage. Every single speaker, they don't hide it under, gee, wouldn't hemp be a good crop to help the farmers? Not that that's not a legitimate thing, and but I mean that's a sub point. The real point is there's nothing wrong with smoking, and stop arresting smokers. It is out front, and it empowers people. Most people have never been in an environment. You and I are lucky. We've been
Yeah.
some places where we can. But most people, they've never been in their lifetime in a place where they can freely smoke marijuana with their friends and enjoy and not feel guilty or scared or anything else. Well,
But if you want that experience, you can come to Vancouver right now.
That's true, by the
Yeah.
way. I think there are pockets of Amsterdam you can do it. In Vancouver you can do it. But not enough places yet. As you know, in Oaksterdam you can do it too.
Yeah.
But I
Is that what they call Oakland?
They call it Oakland now, Oaksterdam.
Is that
But
right?
I fear there were just 2 articles, major articles in the U.S. written on Oaksterdam.
So what happens? What goes on in Oakland that's different?
Oakland, they have coffee shops, in fact, 5, 6, or 7 in a 2-block area that are just like Amsterdam. The difference is this. In Amsterdam, you simply have to be 18 years old or 16 or something to
Right.
get in, but there's no medical card needed. In Oaksterdam, which is a version of a section of Oakland, California, you have to have a medical card. You have to indicate that you're eligible under Prop 215. But if you are, you get to go to the back part of the shop, and it's just like Amsterdam. You have several choices and qualities and different kinds of medicine you can get. Oh, it's fabulous.
Does the mayor endorse that?
Yeah, well, actually, the mayor was quoted in one of these articles.
That's Jerry Brown.
Yes, Jerry Brown, former
And
governor.
we're going to talk about the governor race too. For
Oh yeah, I'd be happy to. What a circus that is! But
yeah, but it's good. I think.
well, there's at least three candidates, by the way, are pro marijuana.
Oh, there's more than that. I'll tell you who I'm giving money to.
Oh, good.
Yeah, we're
Good.
funneling money to, since Canadians aren't allowed to influence American politics, but how we're funneling our money to. Let's just wrap that statement.
On Seattle. Well, I think it is the single most important thing that I believe we have to do to reach our political goals is to come out of the closet as a culture. We have to get over the negative stereotype. And one of the wonderful things that the Seattle Hempfest does is it does it in a gigantic manner. You have 100,000 people a day walking around this wonderful public park, these big sophisticated things, music and speakers going on, and it's all everybody's smoking grass. The police are there. They're very friendly. As long as you're not selling, they don't bother you. I mean, literally, they're all over the place, but they're there to help us and protect us.
Oh, so that's got to come from the mayor then.
Clearly. There's a level of acceptance. It wasn't always there. The early years, in fact, I'm told there was some hostility. And there still is in Boston for the Boston Freedom Rally, the other major event in the U.S. like that. But somehow over the years, the good folks that put on the Seattle Hempfest realized the importance of getting along with the local municipal people and learned how to get along with them. So I think everybody loves the...
That having been said, no paraphernalia this year, too.
That was because of the fear of feds. It wasn't the locals. Under the new provisions they passed, they did it under the Amber Alert amendments, but it was part of the RAVE Act. If it could be shown that the promoters of the Seattle Hempfest had reasonable grounds to believe there was going to be a lot of drug use or marijuana smoking, well, if you had 100 paraphernalia booths, that might be some suggestion, they could fine you up $750,000.